Hello, sixth graders. This is Mr. Scrow, and we are going to go back to our medieval music unit and complete the last two steps. This week, we're going to write a melody, and next week, we're going to create an illuminated letter. Let's get started. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to compose and sing a short melody using stepwise motion. Next week, we're going to do the illuminated letter. Before the break, we learned how the Catholic Church wanted to standardize the experiences that people had that attended the religious service called a Mass. In order to have the same music across all the churches, priests and monks had to memorize music because there was no written music at the time. In comes Guido d'Arezzo, a simple monk from Italy, who developed a system of reading and writing music using lines, spaces, and neumes that would eventually become our modern notation system. Music was a major part of secular and spiritual culture in the Middle Ages. The development of music and its notation, that is, the way that it is written down, can be seen in many manuscript sources. We're taking a look at a few now as we scroll through the presentation. The beautiful artwork and decorations found throughout most chants gives them the name illuminated manuscripts. Monks often spent months creating just one chant. After all, what else was there to do? Those squiggly bits are called neumes. Neumes are like musical notes without stems. The shape of each neume determines the rhythm and pitch of each note. Neumes eventually became our modern-day notes today. All of the text is in Latin. The reason for this is that Gregorian chant is completely based in religion, Christianity. The text is directly from the Bible and sung during religious services. Each chant has a specific function, much like hymns in church do. Today, chant is still used in the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches. In this short video, we are going to listen to a group of Benedictine monks sing a song called Hodie Christus Natus Est. What can we tell from this video, even as non-neume readers? We'll talk about it on the other side of the video. In this slide, I have transcribed the neume version on the left with the version of the song using traditional modern notation on the right. Take a few moments to compare each version. If you have any questions or notice anything you'd like to share it in the chat. Hi kids, this is Mr. Scrow, and I'm going to teach you a song in Latin. Yes, in Latin, and you're going to like it. I'm going to start off with the beginning, and we're going to do some echo singing. Those of you that are in the classroom, you're just simply going to have to hum. Keep your masks in place, but you can hum mouth closed. You can hum with your teacher in your classroom. And those of you that are at home, you can sing loud and proud in the language of Latin. It's really fun. So we're just going to learn the very beginning of the song that we just listened to, the Odie Christus natus est. So say after me, Odie. Great. And it's no hodie, it's Odie. Odie Christus natus est. Christus natus est. Good. Odie Salvator apparuit. Salvator apparuit. Good. So sing after me this time. I'm first. Odie, Odie, Christus, Christus, natus est, natus est. All right, sing that whole first part with me this time. Odie Christus natus est. And then the next part, listen first. Odie Salvator apparuit. All right, and your turn. Odie Salvator apparuit. Excellent. So let's try the entire thing. Ready from the beginning and go. Odie Christus natus est. Odie Salvator apparuit. Nice job. On this slide, I wanted to review the characteristics of Gregorian chant. This is important information for you to have at hand when you're doing the part 1 section of the project in the next couple of slides. So Gregorian chant was something that started back in the 9th and 10th centuries, and it mainly pertained to sacred music for the church. And because Latin was the main language that was spoken at that time, the Gregorian chants were set to the Latin language. The melodies were unison, meaning that there was no harmony. It was just one melody that was being sung at a time. And if there were a group of people singing, they would be singing the same notes. And they would be, another characteristic of this time is that they would sing the song very legato, very smooth. And then they had a very small vocal range, so there were not these huge leaps or skips. It was mostly moving by step. Okay, so we're going to be doing our final project today. This is the part 1 melody making part of the final project. We're going to use Chrome Music Lab Songmaker, and we're going to write a melody using stepwise motion starting and ending on the same note. I'm going to play a video that I made for you to help you to understand a little bit more of the nuances of the project and how to turn it in. So check out this video. Hi kids, this is Mr. Scrow from Hillside School. I am making this video to help you with your part 1 section of the final project for medieval music. And so today, this video will cover what to do to receive credit for part 1. Part 2 will be covered next week. So just worry about part 1 this week. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to need to do is navigate to the Chrome Music Lab. And you can Google search it, the very first link. A lot of you have used Chrome Music Lab before, so that's great. I wanted to get you started here with this. And the experiment, as they call it, is called Songmaker, has the smiley face there, you see. You'll enter the Songmaker, but I'm going to have you do something different today than you have done in the past. And this is an important step. We're going to be able to open this up and see if you've done this important step. If you have not done it, you're going to make your life a lot more difficult. So I'm going to have you go down to the settings, and this split beats into, I want you to assign a 1 to it. The split beats into 1. That will get rid of eighth notes, which don't exist yet. So you're not going to do an eighth note yet. And so then what that does back in the main screen here is it eliminates an offbeat. So I'll explain that in a little bit. But we have this white section here, the gray section, the white section, and then the gray section again. Those are measures. They're groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you do not see 1, 2, 3, 4 across, and then it turns gray, and then another 4, another 4, then you need to go back into settings and change this to 1. You want to have that as a 1. So common time is 4 beats per measure. And for our purposes now, and back in medieval times, they did not have meters or 4/4 time signatures or anything. But for our purposes today, I'm checking for understanding that you know how to create a melody that starts and stops on the same note, and that you understand stepwise motion, meaning that the notes are going up and down or staying the same. And they are, whenever they do go up and down, that the notes are traveling by step, not by skip. So just for our purposes today, I'm going to start on the pink, which is just above the blue, the middle blue line. And I start off with that first note, and I have a choice. I could go lower, or I could go higher. I could stay the same. I'm going to go higher. And then I'm going to go lower again, but I'm going by step on each of these. And I'm just going to do up to here, and I'm going to make this a long note. So let's just listen to see what that sounds like, or to hear what it sounds like. And it will just repeat over and over again if you don't stop it. But if I were doing this assignment for myself, and I was a student, then I would be done. That would be it. That would be the melody, and that would receive an A from your teacher if you completed this. The steps are that you started, ended on the same note, and it traveled by stepwise motion, or it stayed the same. I either ascended, descended, or stayed the same. Now, it is possible, I wanted to show you a couple things before you go, that if you wanted to just go back and fix something in the end, you can undo anything that you did, or you could, I just changed it there. So if you wanted to, you could just click on a note that you've already put in there, and you could put something else. You have to get rid of these. So here's what it sounds like now. I just changed it. All right, so that would also be something that I would accept. Here are some things that you want to avoid. I already talked about about making sure that you're going stepwise, starting and ending on the same note, but some other things to avoid. I just entered. Oh, it sounds so pretty, but I will take points off because that is harmony. They did not have harmony at the time of the medieval period, not until the very end. And I'm actually going to talk about harmony and what's called polyphony later in a couple of weeks whenever we do the Renaissance period. So don't do that. That will not show your understanding of medieval music if you write harmony in here. The other thing that I wanted to show you is make sure, and just erase a couple of notes, that your stepping don't skip around. It's going to sound pretty cool. Yeah, sounds pretty cool, but that's not what the music sounded like from that period of time. Remember, you're telling me what music sounded like during the medieval time. You're showing me your understanding in this project, so make sure that you do that. Okay, so once you have all of your music ready for your teacher, you'll go down to the Save button, and you'll copy the link. Once you've copied the link, go into the Google Classroom and to send your teacher a private comment. The private comment on the assignment for the final project part 1 if you send a private comment, your teacher will be able to give you a grade for your assignment. So make sure that you turn in your work. So copy, paste the link into a private comment to your teacher on the Google Classroom for that assignment. And if you have any other questions, you can ask your teacher during class, or you can email them and they'll get back to you. Thank you and good luck.